Peace, peace, people. Welcome to Yemima's World, the Jelly Moose's Cafe. I am your hostess, Yemima. And of course, it's good to be black in the land of the living once again. I don't have an intro tonight because I'm doing this kind of last minute. And I just wanted to get this done tonight. It is the last day of November, and it is coming to an end of Indigenous People or First People Heritage Month. And so I wanted to go out with a story. I didn't do too many stories. I had a lot, but my schedule was really, really crazy for the month of November. I started teaching back in school again. And so my days have been extremely long, and I've been extremely tired at the end of the day. But I think I did okay bringing some information with uh, about Native Americans, and I'll continue to bring stories as I always bring stories of our ancestors onto my channel. I will still continue to bring stories about Black Native American or the first people who were indigenous to this land, but also indigenous to Africa. All right, so tonight we're going to read a story called The Seminole Diary, Remembrance of a Slave, and it's written by Dolores Johnson. And you can see on the front there, it's a beautiful picture. As always, the illustrations in these books are really, really great. I believe that Dolores Johnson may have done the illustrations herself, which is really, really great. All right. All right. So let's read. Gina found her mother in the attic, sitting by an open steam trunk. Scattered on the floor at her feet lay a stack of paintings, a battered watch, a feather, straw baskets, and a doll wearing a brightly colored dress. Gina's mother didn't even look up when Gina entered the attic. She was so involved in reading from a worn, leather bound book. What's that, Mom? Gina asked as she picked up the doll from the floor. Gina's mother looked at her daughter and smiled. It's a present. It's a gift one of our ancestors handed down to us. Which ancestor? Asked Gina. A slave named Libby. We're all so lucky that she could read and write because she left us with this treasure. And I'm not talking about those beads and these baskets or these paintings. Libby left us with a wealth of precious memories that she wrote down in this book. She made a record of a time when there was a special relationship between two groups of people. It's a story that's rarely been told. Read it to me, Mom, Gina said. I want to hear the story. Gina's mother opened the book and began to read. Thursday, March 13th, 1834. Master Evans whipped me kind of bad. I thought Papa was going to come apart. He was so mad. He told me, Libby, we ain't staying here no more. We joining the other slaves escaping this plantation. We're going to freedom tonight. Tuesday, April 1st, 1834. Finally, we arrived at a resting place. We've been traveling both night and day. 10 of us crawled through thickets and trudged knee deep through marshes. Sometimes I begged Papa to let us go back, but he said, my girls will never live another day as slaves. I'm a man, and I aim to live as one. But Clarissa ain't a man. She only 7, and I'm not that much older. And I get more dirty, tired, and hungry every step I take. It's hard to keep going when you don't even know where you're going. And why are we heading south when everybody knows we follow the North Star to freedom? Or maybe it's because Papa thinks Clarissa can't walk as far as Pennsylvania. Certainly can't be because of me. I gotta go now. I hear dogs barking in the distance. Could be slave hunters. God save us all. About Sunday, April 13th, 1834. I can only guess what day it be, and I don't even know where I've been. All I think of is these things I miss, like the smell of food cooking and the sound of laughing and talking around the supper table, and laying my head in the same place every night. Clarissa seems to be doing okay, better than me. It's like she planned this runaway. She said something to me at the stream, real low, so nobody could hear her, and she whispered it. And it won't be long now. But how does she know? Monday, April 14th, 1834, they came quiet like cats into our campsite. They were so beautiful. Even the men, skin the color of walnuts, dressed in feathers, beads, and silver. They pulled dry meat out of pouches and offered it to us. They passed us salve to put on our insect bites. They offered us fresh water to drink and to cool our faces. A black man dressed like them came forward and spoke to Papa. He said, "My name is Silas, and these are the Seminole Indians. Y'all can live like we do. They'll give you land to farm, and you can keep most of what you harvest. Indians will protect you and treat you like brothers, even though you'll be their slaves." And we followed them. Tuesday, April 15th, 1834. Papa is the leader of our group. He met with the Seminole leader of the settlement. His name is Chief Running Tiger. Papa seems to think that he's a very fair man. Libby, Papa told me, his eyes shining big and bright. Then the Seminoles respect us as human beings. The chief said if we become their slaves, the slave catchers don't dare come take us from here. This is safe, so we'll be ever in the South. Libby, I was so thankful. I tried to tell the chief every little thing I knew. I warned him about every broken twig in the roads we just passed, every footprint, every horse's track, and maybe my warnings will help us all stay safe from them soldiers and the settlers, those that are trying to steal this land. Tuesday, April 17th, 1834. There's an Indian woman named Honeyflower who has taken a liking to Clarissa. Honeyflower's house has become Clarissa's house, and she treats my sister like part of her family. And I can tell Papa don't like it. But Clarissa does, and that's all that counts for her. Clarissa say Honeyflower lost her daughter when she was a baby. I told her how Mama died on the day I was born. "Well, how can you two talk together?" I asked her. "You don't even speak the same language." Sometimes that girl don't make no sense at all. There are times folks don't have to talk to each other. Sometimes they can talk without even using words, Clarissa said. Monday, May 19th, 1834. Clarissa ain't the same as she was. She's Indian now. She wears their clothes, their beads around her neck, and her moccasins. That girl's not a slave anymore. Then again, I ain't either. I sit with Clarissa at Honeyflower's knee and learn to speak and live and breathe the breaths of a Seminole woman. The other slaves have made their homes here as well. We grow crops of corn, cotton, and sweet potatoes and raise pigs, cows, and chickens. We eat kunti bread like the Indians and live in houses just like theirs. Our life is so different than life on the plantation, but I know this joy can't last. Saturday, June 14th, 1834. Clarissa brought over an Indian boy to help with the harvest. Honeyflower told her, "Tending the fields is women's work, but men help with the harvesting." Thank goodness, because Papa ain't around much anymore. He spent so much time off tending to Indian business. The Indian boy name was Wild Jumper. He's about as old as me. He's a warrior. He told me so. And we're resting and alone. He tells me so many things, but then sometimes he falls into a silence that's dark and heavy as a grave. Isn't it funny? I only learned how to laugh since we've been living here with the Seminoles. The Seminole boys don't have time for that stuff. They have to be men. Wednesday, June 25th, 1834. Clarissa don't come around much anymore, and when she comes, she makes sure we call her Swift Sparrow. Papa can't bring himself to call her that because Clarissa was Mama's name. When I finally caught her alone, I grabbed her hand and carried her away from Honeyflower. I pretended I needed her to search the plants and berries for pigments for my paintings. Then Clarissa sat and played with her doll while I drew pictures of my little Indian sister. But things ain't the same between us. It's like she had business to attend and not with me. So I let her go on. Friday, June 27th, 1834. Wild Jumper and I stood in the fields checking to see if the corn was ready. I stripped a cob from a stalk and went to take a bite when Wild Jumper pulled the corn away. "You ain't gonna eat that now," he said. "Why not?" I asked. "I was hungry." "The medicine man decides when the corn is to be eaten," Wild Jumper said. "To celebrate, we have the green corn dance. That's when we all give thanks to the Great Spirit for all he's given to us." Saturday, July 5th, 1834. Memories of the green corn dance will always stay with me. The festival lasted 4 days and was like Thanksgiving and Christmas all in one. Clarissa laughed and played and took part in almost everything. We thanked the Great Spirit before we feasted on new corn and meats that were roasted over the fire. We played ball, we played games, and Wild Jumper and I danced. Life ain't never been this good. Even Papa had fun up until he joined the elders in their discussion. All they talk about was how the U.S. government is trying to force us from our homes here onto a reservation in the Oklahoma Territory. Papa said it'd be the only way the Seminoles could keep us as slaves. But if we go, our life will never be the same. Thursday, November 13th, 1834. I go to the far end of our settlement as if I was looking for pigments, but I'm really on the lookout for Wild Jumper. I haven't seen him since just after the green corn dance, and I wonder and I worry. The last time I saw him, it was when a group of warriors had gathered. They questioned the elders, particularly my father, in his judgment. Why should we go off to some territory called Oklahoma when this is really our land? Friday, June 19th, 1835. Too much commotion, too much going on. All the black people talk about anymore is whether we should go to Oklahoma or whether we should stay, whether us slaves can live with the Seminoles in Oklahoma or whether we'll be returned to the plantations to be beaten, chained, and mistreated once again. Papa is pig-headed. He thinks Oklahoma is the only way. He says it's just a matter of time before the United States Army comes to drive us from this land with rifles. Papa told me this evening to pack only what we can carry and be ready to leave any day now and get your sister because she's coming with us. I'm sure he told me to go get my sister because he didn't bear to hear her say no. Saturday, June 20th, 1835. I go to Honeyflower's home to find Clarissa, but I was told she was sent out to gather sweetgrass for baskets. And when I turned to search her out, Honeyflower grabbed me by the arm. Let her go, Libby. Leave her with me. I was shocked. How could she let her mouth form those words? She was talking about my sister, my family, my blood. Your father was wrong, Swift Sparrow. She'll never live free in Oklahoma. Not you, not me. What could I say? Sunday, June 21st, 1835. Me and Papa went to get Clarissa. But Clarissa's gone. Honeyflower's gone. Her husband is gone. And so is half my heart. The old woman told us that most of the settlement has run away to the swamps in South Florida to live on land that even the white man could never want. I ran crying to search one last time for Wild Jumper, even though I knew in my heart he had left too. He joined that band of warriors who vowed to fight for the land. How can they possibly fight the U.S. Army and survive? I don't know whose heart is broken more, mine or Papa's. Monday, June 22nd, 1835. In just a matter of moments, Papa, Chief Running Tiger, and 60 other Indians and slaves, and I will leave for the Oklahoma Territory under the armed guard of the United States Army. I will probably never see my little sister or Wild Jumper again. There's nothing more that I can say. Gina's mother closed the book as Gina took a long look at the paintings and other items that lay about her feet. What happened to those people, Mama? Did everything turn out right for them? It's hard to know, Gina. History books tell us that most of the Seminoles and their black slaves were forcibly marched and transported to what was then called Indian Territory in Oklahoma. Their life was not as peaceful as it was in Florida. There were often conflicts with other Indian tribes who were the Seminoles' historic enemies. Often problems arose because other Indians, as well as Southern whites, resented the ties of brotherhood that was shared between the slaves and the Seminoles. And how about Wild Jumper, Mom? What happened to him? Asked Gina. I can't really say for sure. Libby's diary is all we have. But I know one of the largest conflicts between the United States soldiers and Native Americans occurred during the years 1835 to 1842, and it was known as the Second Seminole War. Many battles were won and lost, because a number of Seminole and Black warriors chose to stay and fight for their land. And Gina whispered, what about Clarissa? What happened to her? She fled south with Honeyflower's family to the Everglades in southern Florida. A number of their descendants live on some of the Seminole reservations near Miami to this day. Miami? Don't we have family in Miami? African Americans have family over much of the world. Wherever there's a desire to live free, wherever there is someone willing to give up his or her life so that we all can be free, we have family. That was a nice story about the Black Seminoles. Don't forget, we are all descendants uh, of African and First people in this nation. So when they say go back to where you came from, you tell them you first. All right. That's it for tonight. You know the drill. Love yourself, love each other, give yourself some grace, give each other some grace. Uh, Honor your ancestors, they will honor you. We are our ancestors. I'll tell a story about the ancestors on the next episode, but that's a topic for another day. And stay cool, stay warm wherever you are. It is cold here in the 757. It has been all day long. Tomorrow is December 1st. We are into December, the last month of 2024. In 30 days, we'll be in 2025. Time is really, really going by. I thank all of you for uh, subscribing to my YouTube channel, for listening to the stories. I pray that you are learning something from these stories. I don't just tell them just to be telling stories. If I don't think you're learning anything, I'll stop. So I'm hoping that you are learning something. And until next time, family, peace. Stay black.